Question here. My younger brother believes in all sorts of nonsense, such as gender is not the same as sex. Yeah, you're right. He does believe in nonsense. And that the Big Bang Theory is real and the earth is moving at whatever miles an hour around the sun, and that humans and apes have a common ancestor, and so on. What can I say to him? Well, this is actually a person who's been affected by the pseudoscience that most people today are upon. And they've been upon it really since the 1940s onwards. So it's been a constant indoctrination and a brainwashing of children since the 1940s till now. So much so there is no other narrative in the world of science. There is nothing else. Everything else is shut down. Everything else is a conspiracy. All right? So this is the narrative now, that we come from a common ancestry. So what they actually believe in, therefore, is not adaptation. What they believe in is what is called speciation. Speciation is believing that one animal turns into another animal. So this is like a dolphin turning into a lizard, or a cat turning into a monkey. In the broadest terms, that's speciation. So for to have a common ancestor with other creatures would necessitate that one animal turned into another animal. There is absolutely zero. And when I say zero, I am not exaggerating. There is absolutely zero evidence in archaeology, in the fossil record, in science, that proves that one animal changes into another animal. So how do they show it? They show it through imagery. So you've all seen the monkey on all fours. That as they draw the picture, the monkey changes and begins to stand up. And then he begins to walk. And then he's, first his legs are short and the upper part is long. And then the legs start stretching. It's all a picture that has been placed into your mind, but there is no evidence for it. It's like putting a kitten next to a cub, next to a lion, next to a horse, next to a elephant, and claiming that the kitten turned into an elephant. Just through imagery. And there are commonalities. 4 legs, 2 eyes, ears. Right? So these are commonalities. So using those commonalities, they come up with a theory now that is no longer a theory. Because anyone who opposes it, he is the one that they call that this person is anti-science. We're not anti-science, we're anti-stupidity. That's what we are anti. Likewise, with gender. You know, that that gender is a social construct. That you are neither a man nor a woman up until you decide what you are. Meaning that you are neither a cat nor a monkey up until you are 18 years old, and then you can decide whether you want to be a donkey or a monkey or a cat. It's as foolish and as stupid as that there are particular characteristics that are biologically known and established within creation. There are certain characteristics, primary and secondary characteristics in men and women. So these are, for example, the genitals. For example, the bone structure of the woman as compared to the man. The bone density of the woman as compared to the man. The ability of the female to produce children, to have children. Because of the fact that she has a uterus. Right? A woman will have a monthly cycle. The man produces the sperm that can impregnate a woman. So these are undeniable realities that you can see the beginnings of in a child at birth. Because that's the first thing that the nurse says to you. Dad, you just had a girl. He doesn't say, Dad, you just had something, let her decide at the age of 18 what she is, or what it is. They know that these are characteristics. Men do not get cervical cancer for obvious reasons. Because they don't have the apparatus to give them cervical cancer. Right? Women cannot impregnate other women. This is not a social construct. This is a biological reality. By changing it or claiming that I'm actually, and I won't say about myself, because that's how obnoxious I find it, that a person comes along and he says, I am a woman stuck in a man's body. It's impossible. What you are is that you have gender dysphoria. You have some mental illness. You have an illness that needs to be treated. Why? Because it's like a human or a man coming to you and saying to you that I think I'm a wolf. Because that's how I feel. And then he growls at you or something. And then he goes down on all fours. Look, I'm a wolf. Put him in a cage with a wolf and let's see what happens. You know, a lot of the time, I don't need to have a scientific conversation with a person. I need to have a psychological, mental discussion with a person because there's something not right with you to be thinking like that. And that's why nowadays, in Britain, in England, in Scotland, in Wales, that they will put a man who is a rapist, who has beaten up and abused women, and then he changes his gender. Where does the judge put him? Male prison or female prison? What's the law? Female prison. So they put him in a female prison and he abuses female prisoners. It's madness. As for claiming that we are upon a planet that spins 1,000 miles an hour, so this is what they believe, that we're on a planet, it's on its axis, so we're at a slight angle on its axis, and we're spinning, like as I'm talking to you now. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. A man will understand that because we've put our foot down on the motorway at 70 miles an hour, and some of you have done more than that, which you shouldn't. All right, and you know how fast a car can go at 70 miles an hour. Some of you have driven on the Autobahn in Germany at 150 miles an hour. The earth, that's 150 miles an hour. According to them, that we are spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. That is somewhere in the region of 12 or 13 times faster than the national speed limit in UK. That's how fast the earth is spinning at the equator. Has it been proven? They can't prove it. It's impossible to prove, so it's not proven. But that's what they say. But that's science, right? Because you don't have to prove anything. You just got to make some equations, put some variables in there, put some x's and y's in there that no one knows what they are, give them a sum that comes up with the number. And it begins to explain what they have already decided is the truth. Then they believe that we are going around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. So let me just show you. So there's the sun, because they believe we go around the sun. We actually believe that the sun goes around us. But they believe, so here's the earth. So the earth on its axis is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Then it's going around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. Then the sun and the earth and the solar system is spiraling like this through the universe at 500,000 miles an hour. So we're looking at a combined speed of 670,568,000 miles per hour. And not a ripple in this water. Try doing that in your car. But you've got to believe it. Because if you don't believe it, you are anti-science. None of this has been proven. There has not been a single satellite that has seen the earth go around the sun. All of these images that you see on Google, when you type in earth orbits the sun, all of these are computer generated or hand drawn. Every last one of them. Not a single one of them is an actual photograph from outer space. Not one. Every single one of them is computer generated. But you would imagine, from the age of 5 up until whatever old you are now, from your science books at school and your physics teacher and everybody else and the change of the seasons, all of this is attributed to what? Spinning of the earth's orbit around the sun, then the sun and the earth and the solar system spiraling through the Milky Way. That's what you've been taught in all of your science books. If I come and tell you something else, you think I've gone mad. It is them who are majnoon. Because there's no proof for what they are saying. Rather, what you see every morning is the truth. You look out your window on the eastern side of your house, and you see the sun, and it's moving through the sky. And if you stand there long enough, you'll see it climb and climb and climb up until it is above your head. Then if you stay there long enough, you'll see it set up until Maghrib, and it sets. The Prophet ﷺ said to Abu~Dharr, do you know where the sun goes? Do you know where the sun goes? أتدري أين تغرب الشمس? قلت الله ورسوله. Do you know where the sun sets? He said, Allah and His Messenger know best. He said, فإنها تذهب حتى تسجد تحت العرش. What did he say? It moves. تذهب. It goes. Do you know where the sun goes or where it sets? The Prophet he said, Allah and His Messenger know best. The hadith in Bukhari. Then the Prophet said to him, it proceeds. تذهب. He didn't say that the earth spins. He said the sun proceeds until it sets and makes sajda under the arsh of Allah. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا. And then he said, what Allah said in the Quran, it proceeds, the sun runs or the sun proceeds on its course to its settling place. That's what Allah said. That's what you see with your eyes. So you see it with your eyes. It's in the Bible. It's not just in the Quran. It's in the Bible. The story of Joshua or Yusha is in the Bible. That the God of the children of Israel, He stopped the sun in its tracks. Allah stopped it in the sky. This is in the Bible. Stopped it in the sky up until Joshua conquered Jerusalem. In the hadith in Bukhari, Allah's Messenger ﷺ said that Yusha alayhi salam called upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after saying that you son and me Yusha, me as a man and you as the son, both of us are under the command of Allah. Oh Allah, stop the sun in its place up until we have conquered this town. So Allah stopped the sun in its place up until Yusha conquered Jerusalem. Al-Quds. Bukhari. Bible, Quran, Hadith, Bukhari, and in other places. He did not say, oh Allah, stop the earth from spinning at 1,000 miles an hour for a sec. He didn't say that. He said to Allah, oh Allah, stop the sun in its place up until we have conquered it. And you see it with your eyes, but you want to believe these computer generated images that you see. And you want to believe these science books that have been written. And this heretic, Copernicus, because Galileo repented, he began this false ideology, Copernicus. Why? Because, and there's a reason why they do it. Because if the earth is just a speck in the universe, in the Milky Way and in the universe, that is going around a sun, and there are billions of suns, and there are billions of solar systems, and millions of Milky Ways and galaxies. So this sun is no different. This earth is no different to Mercury, or to Venus, or to Mars, or to Jupiter, or to Saturn, or to Pluto, or to Uranus. It's no different. It's no different to any other planet in the universe. It is just going around like everything else is going around. So it is insignificant. It has no, which makes you insignificant. Which makes this planet insignificant, or this earth rather, insignificant. It makes the messengers and the prophets and the books that were sent, it makes them insignificant. This is why this theory has led to Big Bang cosmology. Because all of this, they say, began 14 billion years ago. How do you know it began 14 billion years ago? If you start counting from today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see how long it takes you. You're going to need a few lifetimes before you reach the number 14 billion. You're not going to reach it. You'll be dead before you reach 14 billion. But they know what happened 14 billion years ago. That there was what they refer to as the Big Bang. 14 billion years ago. And this is where, but now obviously there's a problem. Because if everything began 14 billion years ago, it was there before 14 billion years. Oh, we have a problem. So now we believe in a multi-universe. So there are an infinite number of universes that are infinitely growing. And galaxies and solar systems collapsing. So now it's just become so, ridiculous, their argument. How can anyone with any aql, if you'd said to my granddad that the sun is not moving, he'd say, tu pagal hai. Now, if you're Pakistani, you know what that means. Right? And he'd say, whatever medicine you're taking, you need to stop it. Because it's not doing you any good. You could never say that to him. He said, look, I see it. Why? Because he has aql. He said, no. What you're seeing is a relative movement. It's us that are moving. He goes, where am I moving? We're spinning out. They start laughing at you. Why? Because they had aql, they had sense. It takes them generations to brainwash you and brainwash your children. Don't believe it, barakallahu feekum.